Hello and welcome to my workshop. So we're going to get back on the 49 Chevy truck. We've made some really good progress with this. We have a lot of the panels put together, lay a coat of primer down and kind of see where we're at. We got to come back in and finish up some of these details, get this thing put together and off to the customer. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so I got the truck coming together pretty nicely. The front grille, I added some structural support pieces in the rear, and then I just ended up screwing that in at the four corners with some M3 screws. And what that's going to be able to do is allow you to pull this off and do whatever kind of detail you want on the grille, plus be able to get in here and work all this stuff and get it painted up separately and then put that on later. The both sides of the running boards have been finished, and those are vacuum formed and then glued into place. I also came in and scratch built two posts that go up to the roof and tie in down with this piece here. Did a little bit of cleanup work along the front. When I did the vacuum mold, I didn't have it pronounced enough to match up with the molding that was put on afterwards. So I did end up just taking a tool, cutting that in place and kind of reshaping that to give it that look. So I think pretty much the roof is mostly done. And what I have to work on next is getting the top part of the door. So I just need to get that started. Hopefully that won't take too long. Glue that up in place and just be an open window. Do that on both sides. And that's pretty much going to wrap up most of the structural part of the truck. There's still a lot of other detail work that has to come in, a lot of little fill-in for imperfections here and there, and but you know, just kind of work my way through this. But I think the next thing is to kind of get all the final structural detail work, and then I'll start picking off from front to back all the little minor work here and there. All right, so let's get to that. Alright, so I'll make a little more progress getting this truck finished up. Adding little details in, a little ridge down the hood, the divider for the front window, you know, got all the front window cleaned up. Went ahead and made a vacuum form and put in the upper part of the door, and just starting to come along really nicely, and making a lot of good progress. I still have a lot of little details, but the main construction part is done. So I think the next thing I need to do is start focusing on getting some of the details squared away. There's a gap here that needs to be filled for the top of the fender, just to bring that in a little bit, and you know, stuff like that. Just work my way from front to back and start getting this thing finished up. Alright, so let's get to that. So we finally have the 49 Chevy all finished up and ready to go off to get painted and fitted on the chassis. And I'm very, very happy with how this thing turned out. A lot of hard work and a lot of learning went on in this, doing all these compound curves and different shapes and such. Really, kind of stretched out my abilities and got me to pick up a couple new skills. So it's always good. So start with some accessories for the side. So these are two signs that I made, and they're just styrene, and I ended up taking and cutting a stencil, painting it, weathering it very heavy to look similar to the original signs, and that's going to be these right here. So what these will go is on the door right here. They have little holes where push pins will go in to look like rivets. We also have the front bezels for just some simple clear headlights. Door handles are 3D printed, and so they just pop in. They're not exactly the same ones for this truck, but they're very, very close, and they're really good quality. So those will go in that hole there. And then lastly, these little lights, which will pop into these holes in the grill on either side. The only thing we don't have yet are the tail lights, and those are getting designed and created by Pushrod 3D, and so those will be along shortly. While we're in the back, I also have these chains which we hooked up, and they're, I guess, semi-functional. They do slide in a little hole, and then they're bolted on the other side like the real ones would. The tailgate with the Chevrolet, and then we have a real wood inlay for the bed, which I'm assuming they'll do some type of a stain or something on that. And then generally just overall, all the panels lines are cut in, vents on the top and side are all done, and I think that's just kind of sums it up. We do have some glass that's labeled for the front and the rear, and then the side will just be, the window will be down. So like I said, all in all, very happy with how this has turned out, and looking forward to get on other projects, and can't wait to see when this one's done. And till then, we'll see you on the rocks.